Thank you for coming today. So what we're going to do is some training on NFPA 241, which is a standard that's enforceable by code reference from Life Safety Code and Florida Fire Prevention Code and Florida Building Code. So I would like to give each of you a handout. But before I do that, I'd like to do a sign-in sheet and go through a few things. So I'm Harvey. Some general housekeeping guidelines. Restrooms are out to your left. Exits are marked. If there's a fire drill, go out any exit and go away from the building. If there's an incident, call 911. So we're going to go through the presentation first. I'm going to ask you for questions you may have of me. You're going to have an exam. And then you're going to have evaluations on how you feel about this training. Is there any questions so far?
I don't know what it's down.
Smell of mutiny.
I would like to show you where we're going. We cannot go to the site today. It's going to have to be another day because of the weather. But we will go there. This is an introduction on how I want to proceed with this standard. So, when you get there, this is for the construction workers, vehicles, entrances. Do not go in there unless you have a reason. This is the fire department access. Fire lane has to be cleared at all times. Fire hydrant, closest location on the same side as the fire lane. This is the entrance into the superintendent's office. Always go there first. Do not go on the site without notifying him or her that you're there. Electric, it's worth going by every now and then. They've just started this project, so this is going to start looking a lot different as it gets beat up a little bit. Make sure that these things are intact. This is the tool trailer. Got gas cans in there. I did not pick them up. I think they're empty, but on an inspection, a casual inspection, which is what I want to see happening, that could be looked at to see if they're full or what the area is around them. And other tools and other things they may store in there. This contractor is pretty conscientious on paper, so he's got all of his safety stuff up there, everything that you want to know about safety functions. They've started the foundations. So you see the form there for foundation piece. It's not that necessary that you go out there. I would recommend not, unless you really are interested, or if you want to go out there and just kind of get a feeling of what's going on out there. But that's where the more dangerous pieces are, when you start getting around machinery and people that are moving around that are not used to us being out there. So you think, well, how bad can it get? New Orleans, at the end of last year, 3 people killed, collapse of Hard Rock Hotel. They still haven't figured out how to go about dealing with that yet. Florida International University, in 2018, 6 deaths right there, under construction, during construction. We can all look back and go, well, the road should have been closed, but it wasn't, and it fell on people, cars. cars under there, people in there. Miami-Dade College parking garage, 2012, 4 deaths in that collapse. And we'll be going to sites like this, just be aware that there's danger involved in this construction process. Supposedly, a crane bumped that building when it was under construction and broke a bunch of tack welds and started the process of the pancaking collapse problem. But you don't know. It's an environment where you have to be aware all of the time. I would like to show a little bit. You see these things by the thousands on these jobs, and you don't think anything about it. It's like, well, okay, yeah, I've seen that before, so what's the deal? But I'm going to show you what the deal is.
Unfold 6 stories about downtown Boise. A boom lift catches fire with 2 construction workers on it.
Denny Hawkins shares the incredible video and describes those tense moments as the 2 men jump to safety. Denny, it's quite the scene there this afternoon.
Yeah, certainly a different feel out here tonight at the new Simplot headquarters building. This is next to the jump center. Just hours ago, 2 workers were welding when investigators say the welding mats they were using caught fire, then catching the lift they were on fire. So 2 men trapped on the lift, and witnesses say they escaped with just seconds to spare. This video tells the story. The sight of this close call burns an image in mind that's hard to ignore. This footage shows 2 construction workers trapped on a boom lift that investigators say caught fire when they were doing some welding on the exterior of the building.
They were screaming from the top that they had to get somebody's attention.
We'll zoom in. The lift swings slowly toward the building, close enough so the 2 men can jump onto a narrow ledge on the 6th floor. As we get closer, the video gets pixelated, but you can see one of the workers pulling the other off the lift into safety.
There was a little bit of panic, I guess, but you could hear it in their voices, and they were pretty scared.
The alternative to this, witnesses say, would have been unthinkable if the lift didn't move.
If they would have not been able to move it over there at the time, they were well above ground, or they would have had to jump, or who knows.
Meanwhile, coworkers stood in the windows anxiously watching. Some screaming, trying to help.
It could have been pretty perilous, considering how far of a fall that was.
Despite the drama, firefighters say the 2 men were not seriously hurt. They both suffered smoke inhalation and some minor burns, but are doing well. We're told they were treated on scene, then released.
Luckily, the people here on scene were able to do something very quickly and swing those guys over to safety.
Boise firefighters obviously leading an investigation into exactly what caused this fire here, but tonight we're also learning that Hoffman, the construction company in charge of this project, and
Okay. So, I'm sure they didn't expect that to happen. Now, back into 241. This standard is intended to prescribe minimum safeguards for construction, alteration, and demolition operations in order to provide reasonable safety of life and property from fire during such operations. The public fire department and other fire protection authorities also shall be consulted for guidance. This next one's some people make it controversial, but it's clear here in the standard. A fire safety program shall be included in all construction, alteration, or demolition contracts, and the right of the owner to administer and enforce this program shall be established, even if the building is entirely under the jurisdiction of the contractor. There's still some self-preservation you have to do for yourself, because it deals with insurance and everything, and they want to protect it, which they should. But we, the owner and jurisdiction, have a right to enter whenever you want to. Now, this is imperative. Before you enter this job site, go directly to the superintendent trailer, get somebody that's in charge and announce your presence. Do not proceed without wearing your personal protection equipment, hard hat, work boots, eye protection, safety vest. Check on all hot work activity during the project's duration. Inspect tool and equipment, storage trailers and sheds for improper storage of flammable materials and fuels. Going to sleep. Inspect temporary offices and sheds for combustible contents and availability of firefighting equipment. Do not allow internal combustion engine machinery to be stored and used around combustibles. Temporary heating equipment shall be listed and used as instructed. Smoking shall be prohibited around combustibles. Electrical utilities and wiring shall be installed and used as approved. Adequate lighting shall be provided throughout the site. The initial fire line, sprinkler water system shall be inspected before covering. State Fire Marshal will be there. A standpipe system shall be installed as designed during the construction. Okay, now. Roofing operations shall be closely monitored and inspected. A copy of NFPA 241 shall be kept on all construction sites. I will give you all a copy later. In case of an emergency, call 911 immediately. Just do it. And the call will be routed through the campus police, and an ambulance or firefighting apparatus will be dispatched to the scene. So, thank you, and stay safe. Now, I would like to administer this exam.
Bring a number two pencil.
I don't know.
Hi, brother. Back of the sheet, I found it.
You found one?
Yeah, right here.
Really?
No.
I will go through it here, and it can be announced. It's just something just to observe.
Question one, how many feet were found sticking out of the Hard Rock Hotel collapse?
Don't go to that guitar.
Yes, stay away. Death trap.
You might get trapped. You might.
Collapse doesn't get you, the roulette wheel will.
Can everyone see that? Kind of?
Oh, yes, yes,
The purpose of NFPA 241 is a standard used for,
yes. D.
which one?
D.
D, okay. The fire safety program allows the owner to enforce this program.
D.
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 When entering the job site,
A.
yeah,
Drink does sound.
Say it
hot work or hot work permit is needed when?
A.
Okay. Inspect tool equipment, storage trailers,
B.
B.
D is in boy.
Hot work permit is needed when?
A. We already did
Yeah,
that one.
we did it. That's okay.
You're going backwards.
You want to test us?
Number 6, I've already skipped back the wrong way.
Yeah, we're on 6 now.
Okay, temporary offices and sheds are allowed to have large amounts of combustibles.
D.
Internal combustion engine machinery is allowed to be placed around combustibles.
D. Boy.
D.
D is in boy.
D as a boy.
Smaller than an F-150.
Temporary heating equipment shall be.
A.
Yes, A, listed. Smoking on work site when around combustibles.
Prohibited. B.
Okay. Electrical wiring shall be installed and used.
As approved.
Right. Okay,
By the exam.
yes, everybody did very well. I think you listened to the information. So that's gonna cover everything I wanted to cover for this introduction. What I would like to do now is pass around the evaluation sheet and then hand it back to me, and then you may leave. Thank you.
Do you want us to put our name on the evaluation?
No. No name.